So we've just seen a lovely selection of documentaries, and we have the creators of Our Journey to Pride here. So if you'd like to introduce yourselves as to who you are, your role in the film.
I'm Ben Scarsbrook, and I'm the director and producer of the film.
Hi there, I'm John Tilley. I'm from the Thurrock LGBTQ community network. I was very lucky to work with Ben, who came along to document our journey to Pride.
So how did that come about? Did you search for a Pride event to organise, to document, sorry?
So I grew up in Grays, which is in Thurrock, which is in that area, and I knew from growing up there that things didn't happen. It's not a place where things happen. Fast forward 15 years, I, with my wife, made something happen. We made a film festival happen. John attended. And that's where I first met John. And then 10 years after that, we stayed in contact, but John reached out and said, I'm putting on a Pride festival. Would you like to come along and film it? And I said, no, I'll do one better. I'll follow the whole journey. And because I knew the struggles you can have putting on an event of that sort of nature. Just any event in Thurrock, just putting anything on is hard, for the reasons we've seen. And in the last 10 years, we've been to a lot of other Pride events and have been mostly filming them, but been along to a couple as well, just because it's just a wonderful day out, to be honest. And it's nice seeing people just be themselves and be happy. And that was something like, if John and his friends can bring that to Thurrock, we wanted to be there. We wanted to help bring that to the world. And hopefully what we've done is make this year's more of a challenge for you.
So how was it for you, John, to have that opportunity that someone's going to document not only your Pride event, but the first one? Because I feel like that's a rare opportunity. People would find out about it and then start documenting, but to have it from the get-go.
I feel really, really lucky, really privileged, because I think it is unique. I don't think there can be many Prides, if any, that have had that. One of the things that I find from when you speak to funders is where's the evidence, and you're always struggling to find that. But this is fantastic. This is going to be a legacy. So maybe in 10 years' time, when Thurrock's Pride is this huge thing that everyone knows about, you can look back at that film and see how it began, and that's really rare. So we feel absolutely hugely privileged that Ben and the telefilms, that they've documented that.
And how was it getting people involved? Was it a struggle for you to have people talk on camera, or did you how did the dynamic work in terms of getting people to open up to you?
I didn't really give a lot of them a choice.
Sometimes it works that way.
Yeah, I was just like, come talk to me, and there was that little montage at the start was just kind of, it was what it was like. It was just no one really knew what I was going to ask them. And some of the questions got a bit heavy. We wanted that sort of real feeling of, why hasn't there been a Pride here? What is it like being LGBTQ plus in this area? Because I'm just an ally. I say just an ally, but like I haven't lived the same life as the people in the film, and there are problems. And Lauren in the film mentioned she went to a gym and she was told, you can't be here, you're a lesbian. And honestly, that was horrible hearing that. And even John in his interview said that there were times I didn't feel safe in Thurrock. And yeah, I'm just there thinking, I've never had that. I've not never had that. There's dodgy areas that you don't go to. Like, everyone can not feel safe in Thurrock. That's the thing for everyone. But there is, it's just that I want that connection, and I know there are people out there that are having that, and again, like somebody said in the film, possibly John, there are more people in Thurrock that will have seen the parade up the high street and will have heard about it, but they're not quite there yet. They can't come out and be part of it. And just by making this film and by having these events, it just shows, just come along. It's fine. You need to take that step. It's baby steps. Everyone's at a different pace, and that's why I wanted to do it.
Do you feel like you learn a lot yourself as a filmmaker through creating this documentary?
Yeah, it's actually my first feature documentary. Our company has been dealing with corporate films as how we make money. But we've reached that point of our career where we have got that sort of financial stability to put some time and effort into our own personal projects. And I've always been wanted to be a documentary filmmaker. That's why corporate film comes so natural. The problem with being a documentary filmmaker is you spend most of your life looking for the right story to tell. And occasionally, like this, it just lands on your doorstep. You're like, that's the one, I'll do that. So as I was making it, I wasn't really sure what I was making. I didn't know which way it was going to go. Like I said, things in Thurrock, sometimes there's like two people there. And there was a real feeling, and I was getting that in the interviews as well, that in leading up to it, that I wasn't the only one thinking, there might not be anyone come to this. It might just be the people that organise it that come to this. But then, as I said, when we saw the crowds as we turned the corner, and then in the building itself, more people were coming throughout the day, it's very rewarding. It's very rewarding, and I was really glad I could be there to capture that. So like John said, so it's there in history.
And do you feel like, as an event organiser, have you learned through either the process of the documentary or the Pride event itself? Yeah,
I mean, in terms of documentary, as you can probably see from the documentary, none of us have probably ever been interviewed in our lives, and there's no rehearsal. You're asked a question, and some of those questions really surprised me, and I was really honest in my answers, and I think everyone was, and I think that really surprised us as well. Surprised me. This is an opportunity to be honest, and I think that's what Ben drew out from everyone. But I think what was so rewarding for me is sometimes you don't recognise it, you don't see it every day, but how much it meant to so many different people, and how positive they were for this. I think that's the thing that stays with me the most.
And how have the reactions been in both, I guess, in the film festival world, but also I've been following the Thurrock journey and seeing that you've had screenings of the film for the local community. How's it been received?
I think everyone is just astounded. I think from particularly the places where the documentary has been shown, Tennessee, India, Dubai, not places where you would think, that's a welcoming place for LGBTQ plus people. So for us to think, actually, who's heard of Thurrock? I know people that have worked in London, and people, where's Thurrock? So for people around the world to be seeing Thurrock, and I just wonder, has it been successful in those places? Because the way that they feel resonates with the people, how people in Thurrock feel. I don't know that. I'm just kind of that's the one thing that I think maybe.
That's amazing to have it go so far in such varied places.
Yeah, it's been a weird journey. It's still quite early in its festival. I mean, well, the event itself was only last June. I think we finished the documentary in sort of mid-August, I think it was. So we still got the rest of this year for the festival circuit, but I'm kind of, after where it's been so far, with the exception of this brilliant festival, I am now targeting the weirdest places in the world that you would not expect to see an LGBT film festival now, because it's like, well, yeah, Tennessee, Calcutta, Dubai, these aren't the places you immediately go, oh, that's LGBT friendly. That's if
anything, they may be the places that need it the most.
Exactly.
It's I mean, do you have plans on filming future Pride events in Thurrock, or are you happy to have captured the first?
I probably won't be making another feature documentary for each year. But we are returning as a sponsor this year to provide some film content and to just make sure that we're involved in the day. And we do that for a few for a few Pride festivals. We've been sponsoring Southend Pride for 6 years now, I think. Again, just providing their film content just so they've got that proof that it's happening, and it helps get them funding for future years. And it's just, we don't, I mean, I'm talking to filmmakers here, we don't make a lot of money in this industry. It's like only the very few will, but we're doing okay as a business. And like I say, we are able to donate some of our time and our ability to causes that we like. And just honestly, we film a lot of things and Pride events are the most fun because everyone is, firstly, it's really colourful, everyone's having a good time, and everyone just wants to be there. And that's just a lovely place to be.
And I think you do something absolutely vital as an ally, and that is to actually support, because people think, oh, I'm an ally because I'm just not mean, but that the reality is that that's the baseline. The baseline is just don't be mean to others, but then you seem to be going above and beyond actively supporting Pride events.
Yeah, it's like, how can we, like I said, how can the things that we can do, we're not able to give a Pride event a few £1,000s to help it run, but we can give it time, and we can give it our ability, and we can and things like that, and promotion through those things, and we want to do that as much as we can. We are open to any other Pride sponsorships. I'm trying to shill and be an advert for myself here, but we're not committed to just the ones that we work with. If any Pride event is interested like that, they can reach out to us and we'll have a chat.
Romford maybe after you.
Yeah.
How was it creating your first documentary then? Feature length, what was that like for you?
So the first draft was 7 hours.
Has that screened anywhere?
And we just kept hacking at it. We'd have to sort of go away for a couple of days, come back, listen through again and go, that bit goes there, that's two people saying the same thing now, that can come out. And it's a very different form of filmmaking. That's why I enjoy it so much. Yes, you can storyboard and script a documentary, but this style of documentary, it's just film what you see, ask what you can, piece it all together, work it out as you go along. And I could see the story appearing as I went along, but it changed a lot in the edit, and it's really inspired me to find the next story now. We have started our next feature documentary. That is one my wife is directing and producing, and I'm not allowed to talk about it yet because we haven't officially announced it.
That's fair. And how was it? How was it spearheading the first Pride in an area?
It was terrifying, to be honest, and I think it's one of those things where you have a moment of madness and say, we should have a Thurrock Pride, and then you start doing it, and I think if you knew how hard it would be, how much work goes into it, the sleepless nights, you wouldn't do it. But I think you just need people just to kind of just think, do you know what? Yeah, I can do that. That'll be easy. I think being naive really pays off sometimes.
That seems to be, whether it be filmmaking or I guess event planning, you kind of need to have that. Yeah, it'll be all right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do we have any audience questions? Oh, one at the front.
This question for John. What advice would you give to those people who want to start their own Pride events?
Yeah, absolutely. So this was our pattern. So we are a community network. So we started running monthly social events at Thameside. First of all, it was ironically film nights. We were showing lots of queer cinema. then we started asking the people that come in, what would you like to see? And some of them said, oh, you know, what about drag bingo? What about some dragioke? What about cabaret night? What about some, you know, so just different events. And I think that really helped us in terms of something really crucial, funding. So we were able to prove that, you know, we had an audience. We were asking what people wanted. So I think that's the first thing you do. My advice would be, don't jump in with a pride. Start doing those grassroots community things. Build up your core. You know, hopefully build up a bit of a committee. You know, and people will come to you with different skills, and then just start your playing from there. I'd say, don't jump in. Take it slow. Give yourself, you know, a couple of years to build up, you know, what it is you want to do. Make those connections. You know, we were really lucky, you know, with Ben, with Arts Outburst, with Kinetica, all those different, you know, CVS, the Community and Voluntary Service. You know, we were able to build some real strong allies, connections first before going on to Pride. I think definitely tap into that first.
That is quite good advice. How about?
Can I just add to that? And this will bother me till the end of time that I didn't have this line in the documentary, but it was mostly because I said it to people instead of them saying it. But anyway, before this festival, Thurrock was the biggest populace in England that didn't have a Pride festival. Was it 160,000 in Thurrock? 140. Over 130,000 people in Thurrock. And yeah, that nowhere else in England had that many people but didn't have a Pride festival. And now it does.
I did not know that.
Did you not know that? Oh, I really should have got someone to say that in the documentary.
It just takes that one person going, yeah, all right, let's do it. Do you have any advice for someone who goes, oh, I'm going to make my first documentary? What would you say to them?
All content is good content.
Okay.
There were things that I was filming for this, and I thought at the time, no, I won't use that. Someone else will say that better. And then as it worked out, that made it in. Some of the most impactful things in there, they're the bits I didn't think, when I was filming it, I didn't think they would make it through. One of the interviews is slightly out of focus. These are things that you like, but don't like negate any content you filmed, but because at the time you think that's not good enough. When you're making a documentary, all of it is good. You just don't know what is really good until you've finished the edit.
And I guess you don't have that chance of a reshoot, so it is like what you've got is what you've got.
Yeah.
Did we have any other audience questions? Oh, yeah.
What was the reception like at the other showings of the film in Dubai and Tennessee?
So I went to the Tennessee one last October. I was kind of frustrated I hadn't travelled the furthest because someone was there from Hawaii, and that's about 100 miles further away than London is. But I mean, it went on last of the night, and I was there for the full day, and it was a smaller festival, but really like powerful, like the range of films they had. There was probably about 150 people there at the end, and it was so bizarre to see so many people that far away, just really engaging with it. There were people crying at different parts. There was people laughing at different parts, and it was really rewarding to think, you know, because you put your film into a festival and you think, oh, I'll be lucky if someone watches it, but then to actually see an audience watching it and think, oh, they're connecting with this. This is like, oh, I've done something. It was really nice, and yeah, I've made some friends at that festival that I've since seen a couple of times, and it's just been nice to sort of have that connection. And that's really all you want as a filmmaker and an artist, is for people to see something you've done and to enjoy something you've done, even if you didn't think much of it at the time. And I do like this, but other things I don't like. But it's just nice having someone else appreciate it, and it just gives you that reassurance of, yeah, I'm doing the right thing with my life. That's good.
Oh, That was such a nice answer. It threw me off. What I was about to say. If you, for both of you, if you had all of the money in the world, what documentary would you make, and then what kind of pride event would you throw? You had freedom. You can do whatever you want. What's the thing that's up there?
I like to expose something. I don't know what,
Ooh.
but I feel like if you had the unlimited money, you would find out about something that you're not supposed to find out about,
Like
and
some
then you
kind of
can
scandal.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because there's things that the people with the most money know about, and the people with the least money don't. And then, if you had all the money, you'd know about it, and then you'd be like, do you know what? Other people should know this.
That's really devious. Like that's like you had that ready.
Always prepared to be evil.
Thank you. So, you know, we had some lessons learned that we walked all the way along the river. I think it's about 3 miles. We started at 9:30, and we were there till like 1:30 at night. So, you know, it was a long, long day. So next time, you know, we're going to do the walk on one weekend, and then the Pride the following weekend. You know, this one, people said wasn't enough food. You're right, there wasn't enough food. But what would, if I had all the money in the world, and this is my honest answer, I wouldn't change a thing.
Oh.
I would not change a thing. It will stay with me forever. Really will. Thank you.
That's honestly the work that you as a filmmaker to time is the most valuable thing that we have, and for you to go out there and not only agree to I'll film it, but to create a documentary and share it with the world, and to have someone so active and strong and consistent as well, so close to our borough. It's honestly, it's both of your work ethics are very, very inspiring, and genuinely thank you so much for not only bringing it to Romford, not only supporting, but all that you do.
Well, we feel really privileged to be here, and we want to say back to you, thank you for this. It's been an absolutely fantastic weekend. I've just seen so many diverse films, and it just gives me such hope for the future as well. You know, I'm not going to go into politics. We've seen so many horrible things said and done, and it's worrying. But a weekend like this, bringing diversity, love, inclusion, comradeship, it's amazing. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get a round of applause?